So, this movie, go see it immediately. Japan is coming in hot and showing us Americans how to make a movie, and boy, that's exactly what this was, a lesson to all of us. I am so dehydrated. I cried about maybe through 75% of this thing. I gotta be careful about how I talk about it, because then I just might cry again. So first of all, this movie really is something special. It is such a throwback to those original Godzilla films, you know, that really, they started it all, right? You know, and it really is, it goes back to that same time period. You know, Godzilla in the past has been a friend, he's been a foe, and this really does go back to reigniting those fears of nuclear war and, you know, all these things that made Godzilla so popular anyways. Godzilla's always been a metaphor for these types of cultural issues. This film makes the American Godzilla look like child's play, you know, and I don't mean Chucky, I mean like a kid's toy. I already have such a love and respect for Japanese culture. So coming into this and watching it was really something special for me. I also love that they used a lot of the original score from the original Godzillas as well. It was really something special. We need to compare this to another big box office presence. Presence being the key word here, because I wouldn't say it was necessarily a success. The Marvels had a budget of $274.8 million, with a box office return right now sits at about $197.7 million as of this video's filming. And so it didn't even break even, not even by a long shot. Like, by a pretty large margin, it did not break even at all. That would be considered what? A box office flop. Now, when people are saying that Godzilla beat the Marvels at the box office, that does not mean that it's made more money. You know, it's a limited release, so, you know, which was just extended, but, you know, in the American market, it's not showing at the same level as a Disney Marvel movie would. Because right now, the box office rollout worldwide for Godzilla Minus One is close to 50 mil, right? And so people might say, okay, well, how is that beating the Marvels out? We have to look at the margins with the budget. The budget for Godzilla Minus One, 15 million. They made a movie like that. A movie which has an almost perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes, both critics and audience. Spectacular movie, just mind-blowingly emotional. The story was rich. It was full of metaphors. Godzilla was scary. Godzilla Minus One, 15 million budget. Grossing currently almost 50 million. Those margins are wild. So you gotta think of it from that context. You gotta think about the budget versus the return. And when we're looking at budget versus return, Godzilla Minus One is absolutely obliterating the Marvels. So like, the numbers speak for themselves. Japan really is, like I said, coming out here and showing America how it's done. Not only how to make a Godzilla movie, because let's just be real, the American Godzilla movies are just not that great. I like them. I really liked the first one in the trilogy. Godzilla King of Monsters was mid because of the acting. I loved every moment that Godzilla and the others were on the screen, but the human aspect was really lacking there. And then Godzilla vs. Kong was just a shit show. And I'm just really not looking forward to this new Godzilla x Kong movie. This movie really shines on the human aspect of this, utilizing this kind of fear of war and this you know, Japan is riddled from war, is finally starting to recover, you know, as Godzilla comes in and just completely wrecks this place. Godzilla and the war, nuclear tensions, all of that colliding. And it's really interesting seeing this movie the same year that I saw Oppenheimer, because I think these two movies mirror each other really well, and I think watching them back to back would be really interesting for that very reason. We have to think about the cultural impact that this has, because that's what I do. That's what my master's is in. I'm getting my master's. I'm almost done in film studies, but I like to focus on film theory. I kind of want to be almost like a film sociologist. If that's a thing. Is that a thing? I really love the intersection of culture and film, and this is the perfect example to illustrate what I mean. We just talked about in my previous video for my rankings of the movies that I saw in the fall, and how The Marvels was really a letdown for me because it just felt so manufactured, almost like it was made by AI. There's nothing human about that film, but there is something incredibly human about Godzilla Minus One. And that is what people want. That's what people are begging to see. There's a reason why audiences would choose a $15 million movie over a $275 million movie. And it all comes down to the content, the characters, the writing, the acting, the love, the passion, the art that goes into making these movies. It's not rocket science. But yet, the American Hollywood machine still insists on making movies like this, and this. And no one cares. No one wants to see it. And that is very obvious because we have a fucking foreign film coming in that just blows everybody away, and it's doing very well. Abolish Hollywood, right? Now, I'm not saying that everything that comes out of Hollywood is shit, because that's not true either. I mean, I was just saying that Oppenheimer is probably the best movie I've ever seen in my life, but that's also because Christopher Nolan is an anomaly in Hollywood. He's one of the few who actually cares in the industry. In the next video that I make, I'm going to be talking about physical media and its importance in the industry and how we need to move away from digital media for movies like that we consume and watch. But there is a market for digital-only films, and I think that needs to kind of move away from streaming services and licensing and all that, and move towards more open, free places like YouTube. As of right now, this is my life. This is what I do. I want to make art that anybody can experience, and I think that's kind of the direction that we're going in the film industry. So thanks, guys, for watching my video. Highly, highly recommend that you go see Godzilla Minus One while you still can, since they did extend the American run of it. Be on the lookout for more stuff regarding Culture Guys as we get closer to the release. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your week. See ya.